Hey you guys, it's Trin, and this is 10 Fights for the Artiste.
It didn't record any of that? Did it record? Oh.
Thank you for joining this discussion. Let's begin. Number 1, consistency. This is a huge fight for an artist because it can become overwhelming. From drawing every day to showing up repetitively. And to win this fight, you've got to pay more attention to your progress than your streak of consistency. When you pressure yourself to remain consistent, or else, you are holding your opportunities to a very high standard. But if you pay more attention to your progress, you'll find that making progress constantly feels much better than doing nothing and beating yourself up. And making progress constantly can be defined as many things, from cleaning your room to returning to your artwork and not abandoning it because of this fight for consistency. It's okay to try again. And although I think it is completely possible to remain consistent in something once a day, sometimes you just need a break. And most times, you probably should take it. Give yourself the leeway to mess up from time to time. Number 2, perception. Embrace your art the way it is, and be kind towards your progress. If you're letting other people define whether or not your art is exceptional, you aren't giving your own opinions the light of day. Don't tear down the value of your progress to beat yourself up or to satisfy others. It's possible to believe that your work is exceptional because it is uniquely yours and your perception is valid in itself. You have full permission to believe that it's possible to do anything that you want to do. Number 3, time management. I have a feeling that everyone procrastinates from time to time. I think it's the fight for time management that makes procrastination so difficult. A mentor and coach for artists by the name of Renée Phillips states in one of her articles, as they become better in managing time, they also avoid procrastination. End quote. And as an artist, learning how to procrastinate myself, this statement changed my work ethic entirely. It's very often that I hear about procrastination as well, yet rarely do I hear about time management. I don't necessarily think that procrastination is a bad thing. Sometimes it's exactly what we need as artists, both to gain developed ideas and to learn how to manage our time more effectively. Number 4, divergence. Creativity often requires thinking outside of the box, and even if an artist chooses to stay within a certain box, they are inevitably open to a unique presentation, whether this is the artist's approach to an idea, the colors they choose, or the parts of them that are shown through their art style. And people will put you, or your art, in a box. Divergence is defined as the act of being different and turning to different directions. Likewise, it is probable that an artist may fight constantly to convey ideas that are outside of the box in such a way that they are understood. Being different and turning to different directions can be necessary to get creative ideas across as exceptional. But who are you letting define what is exceptional? The conflict that I find in this is that fighting for divergence can be as much as an inner battle for an artist as it can be an outer one. Whether you see yourself as divergent or not, it is up to you to define what your identity looks like. And to win this battle of fighting for or against divergence, you have got to shift your paradigm, which leads me to the next fight of an artist. Number 5, balance. I think a lot of people are familiar with burnout, whether this is creatively or not. And I know a lot of artists, including me, who have neglected sleep and meals for their art and avoided taking breaks until hitting this very stressful state. Finding balance in your behavior and giving yourself the self-care that you need, the counsel, the time with yourself and your family and your friends is essential. You need to put yourself first, before your art, and regardless of how you unplug or step away, it's so important to know that this too will pass. You can get back up again, and there's nothing wrong with balancing out your priorities and asking for help in order to feel much better. I am not a professional in any field, but I desperately want you to find the help that you need and to seek counsel if necessary. Whatever the balance may be, spending the time to find out what works for and what will help you can benefit your creative endeavors, and I don't think it should be overlooked. Number 6, authenticity. In other words, showing up the way that you want to. A lot of artists are probably used to holding their feelings back and not revealing their art the way that they truly want to. This is a scary fight because you as an artist could start to feel comfortable doing the exact same thing, and this could spill into other areas of your creativity. Most artists dealing with this probably know this already, that it's so important to give yourself the freedom to show up as who you are. Authenticity is important. whether it's painting what you really want to paint or saying what you really want to say. Number 7, motivation. Sometimes I don't feel like working on my art or even looking at it, but when I think about why I draw and how much value art brings to my life, the fight for motivation becomes a little bit easier. Willpower will inevitably fade, but you can always progress in some manner. If you are an artist constantly fighting for motivation, spending some time just focusing on moving forward, even a little bit, can help you to overcome this challenging fight. Maybe moving forward a little for you is as simple as looking through the art that you've made, or listening to music, watching a movie, or watching other artists, playing a video game, doing something creatively that will encourage you, inspire you, or light the spark that you're trying to find. Number 8, courage. I have been fighting this fight for a very long time. For me, it has been the sense of people-pleasing with my art, which is so dangerous for an artist, and anyone for this matter, because it can take away the courage that you need to put out any of your work. And for you, having courage could mean something else than it does for me. But something that really inspired me to be more courageous when it comes to my art was actually a speech that a famous entrepreneur and motivational speaker gave by the name of Les Brown. And he said, "What I'm doing now, I could have been doing years ago, but because I did not have a college education, because I didn't believe in myself, because I allowed other people's opinion of me to control my destiny, I didn't act on my ideas." End quote. So, my advice to you is to surround yourself with the things that give you courage, and to try doing the things that you've always wanted to do. It's possible. Number 9, doubt. Let me just say, you have what it takes. You are you and your art is yours. As an artist, bringing out your individual creativity is so much value in itself. But in order to do this, you've got to try. There's a scripture that I find so empowering that says, "All things are possible through Christ who strengthens me." Maybe for you this is a different quote, or a different scripture, or something else that you usually meditate on. And I don't know what you believe or what you stand for, but I do think that anything is possible for you as well. Take this step, whether it's art or anything else, and try not to be so hard on yourself. You will have doubts, and you will have struggles, but fighting through these battles doesn't have to take away your freedom to create. Don't underestimate yourself, and there is another aspect of doubt that I have got to mention. Try not to get jealous of other artists, and appreciate your art for what it is. Which brings me to mentioning the last of these fights for the artiste. Comparison. I just had to add this in, and as some of you may know, it's the name of my first children's book. I wrote it and illustrated it not only because this is a fight I have fought many times before, but also because comparison can really steal your joy. This is something that I didn't even realize I was doing when I was young. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of things we didn't realize we were doing when we were young. But I want children to know, as well as you guys and anyone for that matter, that we are all different, and that's completely okay. When you compare your art to others, you aren't being fair to yourself. And even if you aren't an artist, comparison is bound to take your joy. So, it's up to you to keep fighting and to be kind to yourself. Feel free to like, subscribe, or leave some encouragement for other artists down in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed day.